For decades, America has been seen as a land of opportunity, a place where hard work guaranteed a comfortable life. Millions of people, both inside and outside the country, believed that if you worked full-time, you could afford a home, raise a family, pay your bills, and still save for the future. But today, that promise is slowly fading. Across the United States, millions of Americans are asking the same question: why is living in America becoming so unaffordable? To understand this, we need to look beyond headlines and social media debates. The rising cost of living in the U.S. is not caused by one single factor. Instead, it is the result of multiple systems failing at the same time: healthcare, education, wages, and everyday necessities. When these pressures combine, even middle-class families find themselves struggling to survive. Let's start with housing, the biggest expense for most Americans. Over the last 2 decades, home prices and rents have increased much faster than incomes. In many major cities, rent has doubled while wages have barely moved. A one-bedroom apartment that once cost $800 a month now costs $1,800 or more. Buying a home has become even harder. Rising interest rates, limited housing supply, and investor-owned properties have pushed homeownership out of reach for millions. Today, many young Americans believe they may never own a home. Not because they don't work hard, but because the system is no longer designed for them. Healthcare is another major reason life in America feels unaffordable. The U.S. has one of the most expensive healthcare systems in the world, yet millions of people remain uninsured or A single hospital visit can cost thousands of dollars, even with insurance. Prescription drugs often cost several times more than in other developed countries. Many Americans delay medical treatment not because they don't need it, but because they simply cannot afford it. Medical debt has become one of the leading causes of bankruptcy in the United States, turning health emergencies into financial disasters. Education, once seen as a path to success, has also become a financial burden. College tuition has skyrocketed, leaving students with massive loan debt before they even start their careers. Many graduates spend decades repaying loans, limiting their ability to buy homes, start businesses, or save for retirement. The promise that education would guarantee a better future is now questioned by an entire generation. While costs continue to rise, wages have failed to keep up. When adjusted for inflation, many American workers earn nearly the same as they did decades ago. Meanwhile, productivity has increased significantly. This means workers are producing more value than ever, but they are not being paid accordingly. As a result, people work longer hours, take multiple jobs, and still struggle to cover basic expenses. The gap between income and living costs keeps growing wider every year. Transportation is another hidden cost that adds pressure. In many parts of the U.S., owning a car is not optional, it is necessary. Gas prices, insurance, repairs, and car payments consume a large portion of household income. Public transportation is limited in many regions, forcing people to rely on expensive personal vehicles just to get to work. Groceries and everyday essentials have also become more expensive. Inflation, supply chain disruptions, and global events have increased the cost of food, utilities, and household items. For families living paycheck to paycheck, even small price increases can have a huge impact. What once felt manageable now feels overwhelming. Childcare and family expenses add another layer of difficulty. Quality childcare in the U.S. is extremely expensive, often costing as much as rent or a mortgage. Many parents are forced to choose between working and staying home, not because they want to, but because childcare costs more than their income. This has reshaped family life and career opportunities, especially for women. Another important factor is the growing wealth gap. While many Americans struggle, a small percentage of the population continues to accumulate wealth at an unprecedented rate. This imbalance affects housing markets, investment opportunities, and political decisions. When wealth concentrates at the top, everyday people feel the pressure at the bottom. It's important to note that affordability issues vary across the country. Some states and cities are more affordable than others. However, even traditionally affordable areas are now experiencing rising costs. This suggests that the problem is systemic, not local. So what does all of this mean for the future? Many Americans are redefining success. homeownership, early retirement, and financial stability are no longer guaranteed milestones. Instead, people focus on survival, flexibility, and adaptation. Side jobs, remote work, shared housing, and minimal lifestyles are becoming more common. Despite these challenges, Americans continue to show resilience. Communities support each other. New solutions emerge, and conversations about reform are growing louder. Understanding why life has become unaffordable is the first step toward meaningful change. The question now is not whether living in America is expensive. It clearly is. The real question is whether the systems that shape daily life can evolve to restore balance and opportunity. The future depends on the choices made today.